Welcome to the Women Who Hunt podcast, where stories from the field are shared, women in the outdoors are celebrated, and we inspire the next generation of hunters. From first-time adventures to lifelong pursuits, this is where passion and community meet. The Women Who Hunt podcast is proudly supported by Gun Traders Australia, Australia's dedicated firearms marketplace for licensed shooters and hunters. A family-owned Australian business trusted across the industry. Gun Traders brings people together through trust and connection. Here, brands don't just advertise, they belong. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the Women Who Hunt podcast. Today's episode is a really special one to me. I'm sitting down with Charleigh, who's grown up surrounded by the paddock-to-plate lifestyle, learning firsthand what it means to be connected to the land, where food comes from, and the kind of skills that builds real confidence from a young age. Now, Charleigh's dad, Charleigh Fry, he's an on-farm butcher and a passionate educator. He's built an incredible community around the Paddock-to-Plate Facebook group. But today isn't about Scotty, it's about Charleigh, her experience growing up in that world and what that's taught her along the way. I'm really looking forward to this conversation, so let's get into it. Charleigh, g'day mate, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So what's one of the earliest memories for you being out in the paddock kicking around with your dad?
Probably on the weekend when we were out peeing.
Yeah? So before we get into this weekend, let's talk about your real early memories when you were on Dad's shoulders walking around the paddock and out with the family and out with your cattle and all that sort of stuff. What's one of your earliest memories that you really like to think back on?
Probably when we were just outside the room and I went to help him cut up a beef. That was really nice.
Oh, what was that like?
It was actually really good. We had a lot of fun and I was helping bag up mince and Thai sausages. That's the first time I had Thai sausages then.
So you were in there full guts, hands dirty, being part of all of the process?
Yep.
Yeah, and that was on a customer's property?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So what were some of your emotions when you were little, like being out doing that sort of stuff? Was there an appreciation for where your food comes from?
Yes, there was a big one.
So talk us through some of that.
So for farmers and butchers, it kind of all comes down to the customers at the same time as the butcher, because butcher cuts up meat, but the customer breeds and builds that beast for it to all produce the meat for us.
And so your dad's been doing that pretty much your whole life?
Yes.
Yeah. And what do you remember your feelings being like when you started going out to see what Dad did as a job?
I was really excited, but I'm not the best social person, so I was quite nervous to meet them and all that.
Yeah, okay. How did you overcome some of that nervous stuff, mate?
Just kept talking to them and all that and hang out with Dad and see what he's like around the people, and then I kind of got used to it a little.
Yeah. And so was there a time that you kind of worked out that your dad did a little bit of a different job to most of your mates?
Yes, a big difference.
What was that like?
Well, most parents either work in an office or somewhere that they just kind of sit still and sit in the desk or something. But Dad kind of just moved around place to place, cutting beasts up and doing his own business rather than working for someone else.
Do you reckon you're going to follow him in his footsteps?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So what does a normal day for you look like?
Well, without school coming up, it's probably just either helping work around the house or going out to my horse and just riding or spending time really.
So when you say helping out around the house, what are you doing around the house, mate?
Either I'm helping look after my baby brother or I'm out with my stepdad working, like fencing and cattle work.
Yeah, right, okay. So you're fencing and you're working the cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favourite job out of those two?
Cattle work. I hate fencing.
So when you say working the cattle, what are you doing, mate?
So we must them and then we must them in a paddock, whatever paddock they're in, and we bring them into the yard. Sometimes we spray, and then if they're calves, we brand and ear tag them to identify what one's ours. So we don't, if they get out of their paddock, we know what ones they belong to and all that.
Yeah, okay. And are you doing all of that stuff?
Yeah, help push the calves up in the race and helps push them up in the race as well, just to spray.
Oh, wow. So for the listeners, can you just tell us how old you are, Charlie?
13.
13? And you're pushing calves up the race?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that for, mate?
Well, I did it a bit last year, but I've only just started doing it these past holidays and last holidays before school started.
Yeah, okay. All right, so for people listening that aren't sure what a race is, can you tell us what a race is?
It's where you, rather than all the cattle being bunched up, they're all in a single file line, just all lined up. So rather than them being all bunched up and not missing one, we push them up in a race and then we get them into a crush, which just separates them from the other herd, just to kind of get them by themselves to do all of it rather than cattle getting in our way.
And when you're mustering, are you doing that on quad bike, on motorbike, on horse? What are you doing it on?
Well, I'm on horseback, but the rest, the family's kind of just on our quad.
Yep. So why do you prefer the horse to the quad?
Well, for me, it's really if you're helping muster and you're all separated, you kind of have to keep turning your bike off to listen to where the cattle are running through, or you can hear the bike. So I kind of like it better. So you just jump on your horse and you can listen out whenever you want. You have a two-way on you to ask where they are. So
you're always hearing what's going on. You're always listening.
Yeah, better than turning your bike on and off.
Yeah, yeah. And so have you got your own horse or do you share a horse? What's that like?
No, I have my own horse.
Yeah, okay. So tell us about your horse, mate.
Well, I got her about 2022 maybe, and our connection's been on and off. We've had a good connections, and then my confidence went downhill a lot, and it's only just started to pick back up this year. And we both started to glue together a lot better and understand each other.
Yeah, okay.
Because horses or any kind of animal can feel your emotions. If you're happy, nervous, whatever, they'll feel it.
Yeah.
So you kind of just got to work your way around that and not be that scared. You kind of just got to stay calm and they'll be calm.
So did you go through a bit of a nervous patch? Did you?
A big nervous patch. It took me a fair few years. I would not go off a lead or without a parent around me or guardian. I would not go off that for years.
What do you reckon caused that bit of nervousness?
I had a bad fall. I was bareback taking her back down to the paddock, and my mum was leading my sister's horse down.
Yeah.
I was on Stella, and I was, and then one of my sister's dogs came running and went in between our legs. She kind of bucked and reared, and I went up in the air, landed on my shoulder, and that kind of made my confidence go downhill a lot.
Oh, that would have not. So Stella's the name of your horse?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a cool name. That is a very cool name. And how did she behave after that fall?
She was fine, but she was still very, she will not go around any dogs. She hates dogs now. So whenever I want to go for a ride, I got to put any dog that's out away just to keep her calm so I don't come off again.
So she didn't like the dogs, and then that made you a bit nervous around her. So you kind of worked out that if you take the dogs out of the equation, you're both all right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you could have easily just stayed off that horse, you know that, right? You could have just gone, I'm not going to ride it again. Why'd you get back on?
Well, I only got back on this because she's my first horse I've ever had. Like, I've had her for years, and I normally go riding my sister's horse, but now that I have my own horse, I won't let her go. So, because we've tried to sell her many times, but I would not let anyone take her, really. I just wanted to keep her and work our way around together.
So you had a connection with Stella?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so how did you overcome finally getting back on her?
I really just chucked my leg over her, really, and just let her take her own path. Well, I kind of just figured her out the first ride I had back on her.
Yeah, okay. And how did that go?
Actually went really well.
Yeah?
She had a lot more ground put into her and a lot more work. And we kind of figured each other out, and now we just ride around together, really.
Yeah. Does she get excited when she sees you?
Yeah, well, I have a mare and a foal here as well, and they always come running whenever they hear a quad.
Yep. So are you doing daily maintenance and all that sort of stuff on Stella? Are you feeding her and brushing her and making sure she's watered and all that?
Yeah, well, her paddock's just down below the house, so I kind of can look at her and like all the time, really. So
That's cool.
Feed all of them every day and every second day, really. And I give her like either a week spell or like just a day spell, kind of just to get her going. But sometimes I'll just get her a good spell just to let her calm down and not be so sore.
Yeah, yeah. And so you were out mustering this school holidays?
Yes.
Yeah. So what does that look like? So start from the very beginning in the morning. You're sitting down, you're having your brekkie. So what does a mustering day for you look like?
Well, really, we don't really figure out what we're doing like the day before. We kind of wake up, figure out what we're doing. So really, I have brekkie, get ready, and go down, catch her. I have to brush her down.
Yep.
And then I have to wait for like our worker and all that to get here. And I start saddling her up and all that, and then we kind of just hit the road. But sometimes we have to load her up into our float and take her down there, so it's not that big of like a muster for her. Like, we've done that before. We've went down to the paddock yards, unloaded her there. I got her saddled and went out, and we went from the paddock yards all the way up to the house yards.
Mm.
And that was about 6.1 k she had to walk.
Oh, that's before she started working?
Before we took her down to the yard, and we had to muster a paddock, and then we walked the cattle all along that main road just to get them to the house yards, really.
Yeah. So why are you walking them along the road? Why are you walking your cattle along the road?
Because we have cattle in all different paddocks, and if we go through paddocks and we get all the cattle mixed up, we're going to have to draft them out, and it's better work to go along the roads. And we have signs that we put out so we know that any traffic can slow down.
Yeah. And so you're on horseback on the side of the road, just making sure that they're heading in the right direction, staying together as a mob? Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. Are they pretty good, well-behaved cattle? Like, do they do as they're told?
Oh, when they want to.
So when you get them to the yards, what happens then?
Well, we kind of just let them sit there for them to calm down, get a drink and all that, and then we start to get them in like different pens, and we draft them off. Like, if they're a cow, a heifer, a bull or a steer, we draft them off, and then we start just putting them up the race and doing whatever we have to do.
Yep, yeah. So you're putting them in separate paddocks depending on what they are?
Well, after we draft them and we run them through, we all put them back together and just kind of walk them out to whatever paddock we put them in.
Yeah, nice. Very cool. And then, so is that? Are you getting ready to market, or what are you doing that for? You're listening to the Women Who Hunt podcast, proudly supported by Brackenwear, Australian-made hunting apparel for real hunters who live and breathe the outdoors. You've probably seen me wearing my Brackenwear gear. It's tough, breathable, and built for Aussie conditions. Right now you can grab 15% off your next order at brackenwear.com.au. Just use the code GTA15 at checkout. Brackenwear, the endless pursuit. All right, let's get back to the show.
Well, sometimes we put them up onto the sale yards, but sometimes it really depends what season we're in and all that. So you kind of and what fat they are. So really, that's all it is.
Yep. And are you, like we've talked about getting back onto Stella and how you kind of lent into your nerves, but do you get nervous trying new things? And I'm really conscious asking you that, given that you're 13 and you're already so accomplished. So do you get nervous trying new things?
All the time, really, yeah.
Yeah? What's something that you've been nervous about trying but then you worked out you're pretty good at it?
Cattle work, really, and trying cattle.
Yeah. So talk us through that nervousness to begin with, and then the moment that it clicked that you're like, oh, hang on, I can actually do this. So was it your suggestion that you started doing cattle work, or were you asked to do it by somebody? What was the...
No, I kind of asked if I could help, and really I went out and helped, and I was not used to any cattle, like I was never helping and all that. I kind of just watched off in the sidelines and all that, so I kind of had to figure the cattle out and all that. And really the first time I went mustering, I kind of had to back off because I wasn't on Stella, I was on my bike, and I was quite nervous then because they were all playing up and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, okay. So you're on a dirt bike?
Yeah, I was.
How long have you been riding a dirt bike for?
Maybe 4 to 3 years.
Yeah, and you love it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, what sort of bike have you got?
We have a TDR 110 and a CR 125.
Yeah, nice. How did you go learning how to ride that?
Well, really, I first got my bike when I was coming back from school, and my stepdad picked me up from the bus stop, and he had it on the back of the car. And when we got home, I put jeans on and clothes and shoes and my helmet, and I was like all just learning curve, really.
Yeah. What was your stomach doing when you saw the bike for the first time?
I had a lot of butterflies in there. Like I did not know what to do on it.
Yeah, but you just gave it a crack?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that how you kind of get on with things now? You kind of see it, you got your little butterflies in your tummy, but you kind of just give it a crack anyway?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's very, very cool. So we've talked about the cattle, we've talked about the Stella, who sounds like a fantastic and beautiful horse. What else do you do out on the farm?
Well, we kind of plant crop, and Dad comes out pigging sometimes, or when I'm at his, we go out pigging.
Talk to us about that.
So the crop we plant, we have sorghum and silk and like oats and all that. And now that all of our sorghum has grown, Dad comes out pigging, and we caught 3 pigs on the weekend, but I missed one.
You caught 3, but?
Yeah, it was actually really good.
So does the grain and the feed bring the pigs in? Is that why you now have to start pigging?
Well, it's not only that, but it's also they're a pest to like all of our animals and all that, same as wild dogs. Like they'll come, and if we have fresh calves, they'll come and kill our calves and all that. So we kind of have to go like shoot, like not shooting, but like we go pigging.
Yeah.
Keep the pests away.
Yeah, they get hold, don't they? If you don't keep control of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're pigging, are you on Stella, or are you on a quad, or what are you doing?
We're in a buggy, like it's so the dogs can kind of like go in the back of the buggy while we're kind of in the front, just like driving around.
Yeah. How many dogs do you have?
Well, I have one pup and Dad has his pup and his main dog.
Yeah, okay. Are you training the pups at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's going really good, actually.
Yeah.
Slowly working the head around.
Yeah. And what do you, when you, so Dad's got main dog, so he or she?
It's a she.
She? So is she trying to teach the young pups a bit of the way to get it done?
Yeah, well, I normally tie my pup down because she's still a bit like, she doesn't really know what to do, but his pup, he really leads like untied, and they'll just really follow like the main dog around.
Yeah, okay. What sort of breed are they?
I have actually no clue.
The ones that are on the back of the trailer. That's the kind. We don't need a name. And so, main dog, she's been with Dad for a while.
Yes, she has been.
Yeah, yeah. So she's good at teaching the little ones.
Yeah, she is. She's not only good at pigging, she loves kids. Like she's really good with kids and any kind of person. Really.
Yeah. And so, how often do you get to go pigging with Dad?
Whenever he's free and whenever I don't have school really, so we've kind of gone out a fair bit on the holidays just to get our dogs running and all that.
Yeah. Sounds like you've had a pretty eventful school holidays, mate.
I have, a lot better than school.
School's necessary, but doing what you're doing is also necessary.
Yes.
So when was the first time you went out pigging?
Oh, a couple of years ago, I think. I can't really remember it. I can, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah. Dad throw you in the buggy and went, come on, kid, we're going?
Pretty much. Well, I was so nervous. Whenever the dogs jumped, I was always scared that they were going to get hurt. So I'd always get butterflies in my stomach and I'd never run. I'd always, stay in the buggy. But if Dad could, drive up to the pig, I'd go there. But, I've always been scared of going up to a pig, until I've kind of just started growing them by myself and kind of, working my way around it.
So you've started going in, running in and helping the dogs now, have you?
Yeah, well, I can grab the little ones, but the big ones leave to Dad.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. When you say little ones, so they're how big do you reckon your little ones would be?
30 to 40 kilo, like an handle maybe. The rest of it I just leave to Dad.
Yeah, the 30, 40 kilo, that's still not little though.
No, but it's little enough for me to grab it.
And so you're working, so you're driving in the buggy, your dogs jump off, is that how it works?
Yeah, the dogs do most of the work. They use their nose and they have the scent of the pig, really.
So you're relying on the dogs to smell the pigs?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once they jump, we don't leave the buggy on because then they'll just think that's a sign for them to come back. So once they jump and we know it's a pig jump, we turn the buggy off and we just wait for the squeal of the pig or the tracker says on chooks on point or something.
Yeah, okay. So you're reading the trackers you've got trackers on your dogs and you're reading those devices to see if they've pulled up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got any funny pigging stories?
I have a lot.
Come on, lay 'em on us, Charlie. Come on, tell us your funny pigging stories, mate.
So most of them are really going out pigging with Dad and my sister and me. Sometimes someone falls over, sometimes they don't. But
what do you mean falls over?
So they either fall over air or a log.
so just trip randomly, land on their bum.
Yep, sometimes on their face.
Oh. Who's the one that's going to fall over most if the three of yous are out?
Everyone.
Yeah.
All of us are excited to catch the pig.
So is it a bit of a tradition now that it's not a proper a pig hunt until someone's eaten dirt?
Pretty much, but there's a new one this weekend.
Yeah?
Well, the dog jumped and Dad didn't think anything of it, and he kind of just wanted to go for like a wee, as the usual one does. Anyway, next minute he hears the squeal. We both look at each other, and then he had to rush into the buggy and race into the sorghum to get the pig.
So Dad's doing a wee and the dogs have got a pig.
Yep.
What was Dad's face like? Was it like, what, decision time?
He thought he was just hearing stuff. Like, he just looked at me so confused, and I was like, they're on a pig. Next minute, he just jumped into the buggy, racing in the sorghum, looks at me, started laughing his head off after he got that pig.
And you still got the pig?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. So hang on.
Yeah.
You didn't go into the sorghum after the pig? You let your dad struggle?
Oh, pretty much. He just drove into the sorghum with the buggy.
I love that you just let your dad, like, just work that stuff out for himself.
Oh, he's smart enough to do it. Yeah, look, he might as well know.
And what sort of, like, what was the size of the pig that you managed to wrangle?
Not my size to grab, so I kind of let Dad do the work, but she was a fairly good size of a sow.
Yeah, okay. So it was better that Dad chased.
Oh, yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't have a tracker either. It was hanging up on, like, the buggy, and I didn't know how to get it off, so I kind of just let Dad do that.
I love it. And what was Dad's reaction after all of the dust had settled and it was all done and dusted?
Well, we were just laughing. Next minute, he looked off into the distance over across the open. There was a big ball running across it. That's the one he missed.
Oh, what?
Yep, and we were chasing after him fairly well, and we were holding onto the main, like that. He was holding onto the main dog, Chook, and waiting for us to get closer to him, because if we didn't get close to him, he was legging it. We would have missed him. We still did miss him, though. We were about 40 to 50 metres off, if that. Yeah. And he was through the fence already.
Oh, what?
Dad let Chook go, and then our pup fell off the buggy, obviously trying to jump off. And then, she didn't go through the fence. She kept chasing up, like she was like running after the buggy. But if she went underneath the fence, she would have got him. So we kind of, and there were these big bumps. I was holding on for dear life. I did not want to go at the buggy. I was holding on, and he kept hitting these bumps, and I was basically flying out the window, holding on. I didn't die though.
How many times do you finish a day to go, yeah, but none of us died, so we were all right?
All the time.
So when you get to a fence, what happens then? So the pig's taken off, you're at a fence, what do you do?
We go looking for a gate or a grid, go over that, and kind of, if the dog is chasing the pig, obviously we go after their collars.
Yep.
Sometimes we just wing it and follow the pig.
Yeah, okay.
But man, the dogs were like all buggered, so, and like, because we caught the 3 pigs before that, and we were early in the morning, and it was starting to get really warm, so the dogs were worn out. They were buggered? Yeah.
That sounds hectic, man. That sounds so full on.
Yes.
So what do you reckon growing up doing this cool stuff's taught you?
Just kind of independence and like a lot of stuff you can really do rather than in the city.
Yeah? What does independence to you mean?
Like doing stuff on your own, because I've normally never been able to do stuff by myself. I just have to have someone with me, but now I kind of figure my way around it, and you can do stuff by yourself. You just got to learn rather than winging it.
Yeah. And you got brothers and sisters, hey?
Yes.
So older, like how many brothers and sisters, age range, and all that sort of stuff?
Well, my younger brother, he's 10 months.
Oh.
And then I'm the youngest out of all the girls.
Okay.
And then they're not big like age gaps. I'm about 4 to 3 years younger than 2 of my older sisters, and then there's a fair big of an age gap between my 2 older sisters as well. I don't know how
Okay.
these days that though.
So are they still living with you and they're still knocking around doing farm stuff?
Well, 3 of them barrel race, and like 2 they barrel race and camp draft, and like 2 work on a feedlot.
Wow.
2 of them are like over 18.
Okay.
But yeah, really, we all grow up around that stuff, and I'm slowly learning like camp drafting and barrel racing, really.
Oh, so you're learning that as well?
Yeah, but I've never been to any like competing really. I just watch them compete, but I'm slowly gonna work my way into it.
Yeah. And you like watching what they're doing?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So for our listeners, what's camp draft and what's barrel race?
So barrel racing, there's 3 drums, and like you kind of have to like go your way, like work your way around it and all that. And camp drafting, it's a bit different. There's a herd of cattle in a little pen that you have to try and pick one out and draft it out. And then there's 2 like anyone at the gates, and you have to kind of call gate and go around these like poles kind of thing. And you have a set time to get around the pegs.
Yeah, okay. And you're on horseback?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you training Stella so that you and Stella can do that together?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we've only just started. Like she hates canoeing and galloping really, so we've kind of worked our way out with each other, and we've started to canoe and all that just to get her used to it, and we've gotten a lot better at it.
So she wasn't a fan of that to begin with?
Yeah, and the only time for barrel racing, camp driving, all the kind of horse events, they can go trotting all day, but canoeing and going faster, they can't go all day because we just wear them out easily.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, got to be careful not to wear them out, hey?
Yeah.
So what are you going to start with when you start? Thanks for listening to the Women Who Hunt podcast, proudly supported by Nature's Perks, the ultimate outdoor adventure hub. Nature's Perks helped us take our hunting to the next level, and they can do the same for you, helping you grow your skills and confidence in the great outdoors. Become a member today at naturesperks.com.au and unlock exclusive benefits, fortnightly prize draws, guided hunts, fishing charters, and special discounts. Nature's Perks, where the wild side of life rewards you. All right, let's get back to the show.
I'll probably start with barrel racing. That's kind of the easiest. And then once we get the hang of that, or maybe I'll start working my way into that at the same time. But once we kind of figure out barrel racing, we'll start getting into camp drafting, really.
So it'll be just you and Stella racing around the barrels, getting yourselves organised and learning each other in that sort of situation to start?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. How do you learn stuff like that? Is there a school for it? How do you learn that?
Off my sisters, I've been to many of their events, and I've kind of just watched them, really.
Yeah, yeah. That's really cool. And they like bringing you along? They like teaching the ropes?
Pretty much.
Yeah. What have you learnt from your sisters in regards to how to conduct yourself, how to behave? What have they taught you?
Well, it's really on and off. All of us have the same kind of attitude and all that.
What sort of attitude's that?
So if sometimes we have a bit of an anger attitude, if we kind of get a bit mad, we have attitude against people.
Yep.
And all that, but sometimes it's really just the day for it and what you kind of start your day off like.
Yep. So sometimes you get a little bit angry, but you kind of brush it off.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you can do now? It sounds like you've had probably a couple of years of really big milestones that you've been able to achieve. What's something when you look back over the last couple of years that you're super proud of?
Probably a lot of stuff. Probably horse riding, motorbike riding, and showing my cattle.
Hang on. You've just thrown a curveball in there for me, Charlie. Showing you cattle. What's that?
Really like, it's kind of like horses, but not like it, but it's cattle. You kind of like throw a halter on them really and lead them around.
Yeah, okay. So is there special cattle that you show?
No, any breed, like if you can help get them quiet and put a halter and a nose ring in, really that's just take them to a show really.
Yeah, wow. And you've done that?
I do have my own cattle and I've halter broke a fair few. I've just never took them to a show. I normally use like other people's cattle, but I am going to start using my own.
Hang on. So you've halter broken cattle yourself?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So what went into that?
Well, I had no experience at all. Like I've been to a fair few cattle, like a couple cattle camps at that time, and I've known nothing. So I just asked people I showed cattle for. They said buy a halter and like a lead rope.
Yep.
You like try and get them calm to put the halter on, and you kind of let them go for a couple of days, just like with the lead rope dragging around for them to get used to, like on the pulling sometimes. And then the nose ring, you can either have ones that just stay in there, which is mainly for bulls, but with like heifers and cows, you can get the one that you can keep taking out. And we don't, like, it doesn't do anything to the animal, but like if they're playing up or trying to get away, you kind of like give it a little tug to like pull them up.
Yeah, okay. So have you got to spend a bit of time with the cattle to get them to that stage that they're calm and quiet?
It does take a fair few time, like a while. Like me personally, I've just used like bottle fed cattle kind of. Like,
right.
Because sometimes I have to bottle feed cattle, like if their mums reject them or like their mums died during birth.
Yeah.
I kind of like have to just make up milk for them and give them a bottle, and that kind of gets them really quiet.
Yeah, okay. So then you kind of formed a bit of a bond with them and then you can do a bit of training?
Yeah, pretty much. But I've known some people that just chuck a halter on them that day and they are quiet, but like due like to other stuff getting done to them. But I have known people chuck a halter on them that day and take them to a show and they're fine.
Yeah, wow. Okay. And when they're showing them, what are the judges looking for in good cattle? What's going to get you a ribbon?
They're not really looking at your cattle. They're kind of looking at you in the way like you lead it and the way you are presenting it, really.
Yeah, okay. So it's you that they're judging, not the animal.
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of like a 50-50.
Yeah, okay. And so what are they looking for in you?
Like the way you like present it, like parade it, really. Like you lead her around the ring a couple of times and you line up and you have like a cane to scratch them with it and put their feet in place, really. And they look at the way you do that, and like if your beast plays up and doesn't like it, really, like, and then at the same time they want to look down the top of the beast's back, so you kind of got to move around really, like side to side, just to like let them look down the beast, really.
Why are they looking down the beast?
I actually don't know.
Just checking him out, making sure he's all right.
Pretty much.
So we've talked a lot about you spending a lot of time with your cattle. So I just want to take us on a bit of a journey so we've done the paddock conversation. Now can we talk about the plate stuff? So you've spent a fair bit of time with your cattle. How do you go when it's time to either your dad's got a saying, is it hang? You got to hang the cattle?
You breed them, we breed. Oh no, you breed them, we bleed them.
Yep. So are you involved in that process as well on your own farm, as well as the on-farm butcher stuff that Dad does?
Well, really, it's just Dad in our family that does it. Like, he's the only one who does it. So we've had him hang 2 beasts for us in one day and cut them up, really, and I've helped him with that and had a day off to help him. But at the same time, whenever I'm with him, if he has a job to do, I'll go out and help him, really.
So how do you go being around the cattle, mustering them, doing all of that, knowing that they've been bred for a purpose, right? And then being there for that, then being readied for the plate. How do you go about that stuff in your brain?
Well, really, if it's cattle, I haven't really been around. I couldn't really care, but at the same time, I do, because like the living animals, obviously, they like do live. But
Yep.
if they're bottled like calves and all that, and they do like die at a random age or something, I do get a bit upset, because like I've been around them since they were little calves sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that connection, but then there's also the reality that they've been bred for a purpose.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what goes into so your dad gets a phone call, he then says, all right, Bear, come on, get in the car, we've got to go. Then what happens from there?
Kind of just drive to the customs place, really, and like we enjoy our day together, just hanging out, really. Like, it doesn't matter what we're doing, we're spending time together.
That's so cool. Yeah. And Dad takes a bit of care and talks you through what he's doing and shows you what's going on?
Sometimes he's too concentrated, I have to ask questions.
And he does a little bit of education around the traps as well, doesn't he, about that paddock-to-plate sort of stuff?
Yes.
And you go along to some of that?
Sometimes, yeah, I do.
Yeah. And what do you guys talk about?
Well, I don't listen sometimes. Sometimes I do.
I love your honesty, Charlie. I love it. Is Dad just talking about stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. I listen to interesting things, but I don't know.
What are some of the interesting things that you listen to?
Not a lot.
So has he taught you some stuff that you think is normal, but then when you talk to your mates, you're like, oh, hang on, that's a bit different to what your parents are teaching you?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Yeah? Talk me through that.
Well, really, because I grew up around two different lifestyles. I used to live in like Gladstone. I used to live there since I was 5 to 6, and then or if not a bit older. And then we moved out here, and really I enjoy it a lot more out here than I did in Gladstone.
So you've kind of lived both worlds. You've lived city and you've lived country?
Yes.
What do you prefer?
Country a lot.
Why?
Like, it's a lot more peaceful, and like you get to do like not a lot more things. Like, sometimes you have to buy a lot of stuff online, really, and it's a fair travel into town if you live out of town. But it's actually a lot better because like of the peace, the bond you have with animals sometimes, and like the city, it's not quiet, it's always loud, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favourite time of day?
Bedtime.
Nice and quiet, ready for bed?
Yes, love my sleep.
Yep. I don't know a teenager that doesn't, but good. And so do you reckon the country stuff compared to the city stuff's made you a bit more independent?
A lot more, yes.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, the city, it doesn't teach you a lot of stuff, kind of. Like, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But most teenagers my age, I know, live in the city. They go shopping or they spend time in their like room sometimes. And I know I do spend time in my room a lot sometimes. But at the same time, I do go outside and spend time with like animals and all that.
Yeah. So you got the option if you want to just nick off outside and spend some time in nature, you can.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
When really, like, in cities, like, there's a lot of buildings everywhere, and like there's not a lot of like places to go outside in nature. It's just like buildings everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do your friends like? Have you got different friends, like city friends and country friends?
I have kind of both, really. Like, some live in town. I know I have one good mate that lives out of town, only 5 minutes down the road from me, really.
Yep. spend a bit of time with them?
At school, yes, but at the same time, sometimes she's also working with her own family.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And so if there's other girls your age that are listening to this, what would you say to them about what your lifestyle and what the last couple of years have been like for you growing into your teenage years as a young lady?
Probably really like, if you kind of want to give like a boys like sport or anything, go like ball riding, footy, or really whatever, just kind of like give it a go really, because like you see as women in NRL, a lot more people are getting into that now. So
Yep.
as myself, but really just not every sport or everything is for men.
Nice. Yeah. And you've worked that out at a really young age, mate, which is really good.
Yeah, there's like also a lot of space for like a women's industry, not only men.
Yep. Yeah. And if someone's watching your journey from the sideline, what would you want them to learn from you?
Anything you want to do or you believe you can do, kind of just give it a go.
Yeah. Yeah. What's something that you gave a go that you didn't think you'd be all right at, but you are?
Really everything, really. I've always been kind of like a nervous little girl. When I was young and all that, I've always been nervous to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But you find those nerves, you're able to tame them a bit more?
Sometimes I do get a really bad anxiety sometimes, but I kind of just give everything a go.
Yeah, nice. Don't let it rule you, you rule it.
Yeah, but I only just learned that not even last year maybe.
It's a pretty cool lesson to learn.
Yeah, because I used to have really bad anxiety. Anything I did, I'd have anxiety straight away.
Yeah, and you're kind of overcoming that a bit now?
Slowly, but not really.
Yeah. Do you let it slow you down?
If I know something I'm really nervous or like scared to do, like or anxious, it does slow me down a lot. But if I know I can like do it and I've seen other people my age do it, I'll like not let that take me down.
So it might slow you, but it's not going to stop you?
Yes.
Yeah, good job. That's awesome. And I reckon you'd probably have a pretty good support group around you who are cheering you on from the sidelines in whatever you wanted to do as well, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So for you, what does being a strong young woman mean to you?
It's really like anything really possible as like a woman or like a lady, really, anything. Like, you can really do whatever you want. You just got to give it a crack.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you think people think about when they think about the ladies that are out there doing the mustering, doing the camp drafts, doing all of those sorts of things? What do you reckon people think about when they think about that sort of lady that you are?
Well, there's really a lot of opinion. Like some people will kind of like try and take you down saying, oh, you can't really do it. But some people also like cheer you on, like keep going. And sometimes they'll take after you as well and start doing it.
Yeah. And if there's someone listening right now that wants to just take a piece of Charleigh gold with them, what's the message that you would share with the world that's just yours that you want someone to take away from this chat?
Anything you really dream of or you want to like do when you're older, really start doing it now because there's no chance later on that you can probably start doing it.
That is so good. Charleigh, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your stories today, mate. It's been a really, really special episode and it's been really, really special to hear your perspective. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people listening who take something away from this, especially seeing what's possible at your age. Not that age should matter in any way, shape or form. So thank you for flying the flag for women in general and showing that it doesn't matter what it is that you want to do. If you want to give it a go, you can. If this episode shows anything, it's that confidence doesn't come from age. It comes from exposure, support, and really being willing to give things a crack. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you for being part of this community. Women Who Hunt exists because of real stories, real experiences, and women backing women. A huge thank you to Charleigh for sharing your story with us. Thanks for being on the podcast, Charleigh.
Thank you for letting me be on here.
You're an absolute inspiration, mate. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please follow the podcast and share it with someone who you think would appreciate it. Watch the space, because Charleigh is going to be someone to keep our eye on as she progresses through life. Until next time, take care, everybody, and keep doing the things that light you up.